From a guitar riff that sounds like a war cry, to a screaming punk precursor that left radios in ruins, to a blues banger that made the late-night bar scene feel like a religion. These are the 1970 rock songs radio wants you to forget. The tracks that were too intense, too controversial, or just too real for mainstream airwaves, but became underground classics and fan favorites anyway. And one of them? It's a stripped-down, high-octane cover that still leaves arena crowds screaming for more. Comment if you think you know which song that is. Number 15, War Pigs, Black Sabbath.
Minds of plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction.
It opens like a funeral march, slow, ominous. Then Tony Iommi's guitar rips through the gloom like a buzzsaw, and Ozzy Osbourne starts preaching about the end of the world. War Pigs is Black Sabbath at their most apocalyptic, angry, and unfiltered. It's a track that pulls no punches, calling out politicians, war profiteers, and the people who profit from the blood of others. Released on the Paranoid album in 1970, it was too heavy and too political for a lot of radio stations. The lyrics compare military generals to witches, devils, and evil gods, not exactly top 40 material, but it hit anyway. Not because it was polished, but because it was raw. Real Point, Relentless War Pigs became an anti-war anthem for a generation, and laid the foundation for heavy metal to come. And while Sabbath were dragging the devil onto the battlefield, the next band was ripping through the speakers with a track that practically invented punk rock a decade early. Number 14, 1970, The Stooges. It's a 3-minute fistfight disguised as a song. 1970 by The Stooges is all raw power, grinding guitars, and feral vocals. Iggy Pop doesn't sing it, he growls it. Released on the Funhouse album, this track is pure, uncut proto-punk. It's messy, it's loud, and it sounds like it was recorded in a warehouse full of broken amps and smashed beer bottles. The lyrics? Barely there. The guitars? Out of control. The drums? Pounding like a stampede. It was too aggressive, too chaotic, and too primal for mainstream radio. But that's exactly why it's a classic. This song was a blueprint for the punk movement that would explode a few years later. All speed, sweat, and screaming defiance. And while the Stooges were smashing through every wall in their way, the next band on our list was pulling on their leather jackets, hitting the dive bars, and cranking out a blues rock anthem that still sounds dangerous today. Number 13, Roadhouse Blues, The Doors. It's dirty. It's sweaty. It's the sound of last call at a dive bar where the floor is sticky and the neon buzzes overhead. Roadhouse Blues is The Doors at their most reckless and raw. Jim Morrison's growl sounds like he's been up for 3 days, all whiskey breath and bad decisions. The guitars slide and grind like a rusted-out Harley, and the lyrics, pure barfly poetry. Keep your eyes on the road, your hands upon the wheel. Released as a single in 1970, it didn't hit the charts. Too wild, too bluesy, too explicit for mainstream radio. But it became a live staple, a fan favorite, and one of the band's most covered tracks. It's not polished, it's not pretty, but it's rock and roll in its purest form. And we can make rock and roll in its purest form if you subscribe right now. And while the Doors were keeping things loose and dirty, the next band on our list was about to kick the door down with a track that turned protest into punk and left a city burning in its wake. Number 12, Motor City is Burning. MC5.
Feel
It's angry, loud, and unapologetically political. Motor City is Burning is MC5 taking their garage punk chaos and turning it into a Molotov cocktail. Released on their Back in the USA album in 1970, this track is a furious recounting of the 1967 Detroit riots, a raw, blistering take on a city in flames. It's part blues, part punk, part battle cry. Wayne Kramer's guitar howls like a police siren. Rob Tyner's voice screams like a protester on the front line. And the rhythm section rumbles like the pavement beneath a stampede. It's political, without being preachy, aggressive, without being overproduced, and it captures the chaos and desperation of the moment perfectly. Too intense for mainstream radio, it became a cult classic for those who preferred their rock raw, radical, and ready for a fight. And while MC5 were lighting the fuse on Motor City, the next artist on our list was about to take his guitar into a whole new dimension, turning a single song into a battlefield and a live show into an all-out war. Number 11. Machine Gun, Jimi Hendrix. It's 10 minutes of pure, unfiltered chaos, a guitar solo that sounds like a bomb going off, and one of Jimi Hendrix's most powerful and political statements. Machine Gun wasn't just a song, it was a sonic battlefield, written as a protest against the Vietnam War. Hendrix used his guitar to mimic the sounds of gunfire, explosions, and screaming soldiers, a wall of noise that's both beautiful and terrifying. Recorded live with his band of gypsies on New Year's Eve, 1969-70, it became an instant underground classic. Too intense for radio, too real for the mainstream. The guitar work, mind-blowing, jaw-dropping, soul-crushing. Every note feels like a bullet, every feedback swell like a bomb going off. It's not just a performance, it's a piece of history, a sonic snapshot of a world on the brink. And while Hendrix was tearing the stage apart with his sonic assault, the next band was spinning their own web of twisted, gritty, street-level storytelling. With a song that became a cult classic in smoke-filled clubs and late-night radio. Number 10. Sweet Jane Live, The Velvet Underground. It's cool, cocky, and full of sneering attitude. Sweet Jane is Lou Reed at his most ironic and iconic. A song that rolled its eyes at the mainstream and became a cult classic anyway. The studio version is great, but the live version? That's where it shines. It's raw, stripped down, and dangerously alive. The sound of a band that never cared about fitting in. Reed's lyrics are street poetry, his voice dripping with sarcasm and cynicism. Anyone who ever had a heart, they wouldn't turn around and break it. It's a love song, but not really. It's a rock anthem, but not quite. It's Lou Reed, messy, brilliant, and impossible to pin down. It never topped the charts, never got mainstream airplay, but it became a classic anyway. Covered by everyone from Mott the Hoople to Cowboy Junkies. Because sometimes cool doesn't need a chart position. And while Reed was strumming his way through the shadows, the next band on our list was about to crank the volume, hit the fuzz pedal, and drop a track that hit like a fist fight in a back alley. Number 9. Sin's a Good Man's Brother, Grand Funk Railroad.
At my front door, she knows what I got. She wants some more.
It's heavy, funky, and raw. Sin's a Good Man's Brother is Grand Funk Railroad at their most unfiltered. A track that sounds like it was recorded in a sweaty basement jam session at full volume. Released on their Closer to Home album in 1970, this track pounds from the very first note. The guitars grind, The bass rumbles, the drums pound like a freight train, and Mark Farner's voice cuts through it all like a chainsaw through rusted steel. Lyrically, it's a dark, paranoid rant against hypocrisy, power, and human nature. Ain't seen a night, things work out right, go by. It's cynical, defiant, and perfectly suited for a band that never played by the rules. Too rough for mainstream radio, too gritty for polished playlists, it became a fan favorite anyway. And a staple of the band's high-octane live shows. And while Grand Funk were blowing out speakers and breaking rules, the next band on our list was about to crank out a riff so dirty, so thunderous, it practically invented the idea of power chords. Number 8, Mississippi Queen, Mountain. It's the sound of motorcycles revving, bars brawling, and amplifiers cracking at the seams. Mississippi Queen by Mountain is one of the heaviest tracks to hit the airwaves in 1970. And Leslie West's guitar tone hits like a wrecking ball. From the opening cowbell to the fuzz-drenched power chords, it's a full-throttle rock anthem that demands to be cranked to 11. The lyrics? Simple, direct. Mississippi Queen. If you know what I mean, it's the perfect barroom brawler, loud, rude, and ready to knock you on your ass. It didn't hit number 1, but it slammed its way into rock history, becoming a concert staple and one of the most instantly recognizable riffs of the decade. And Leslie West's guitar solo? A masterclass in thick, bluesy tone that every guitarist has tried, and mostly failed, to replicate ever since. And while Mountain were laying down the law with pure volume, the next band on our list was sneaking a song onto the airwaves that would cross every line and get banned in the UK, but still become one of the most beloved tracks of the decade. Number 7, Lola, the Kinks.
Nearly broke my spine, you're my Lola. La 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 la.
Clever, catchy, and controversial as hell. Lola by the Kinks is a classic today, but when it dropped in 1970, it was scandalous. Why? Because it told the story of a guy who unknowingly falls for a woman who isn't exactly who she seems. The lyrics are brilliantly cheeky, full of double entendres and nods to the underground. Girls will be boys, and boys will be girls. It's a love song, a joke, and a cultural statement, all rolled into one. But the line that got it banned in the UK? A casual reference to Coca-Cola, which violated strict BBC advertising rules. The band had to re-record the line as Cherry Cola just to get it on the radio. But once it hit, it exploded. It hit the top 10 in the US and top 5 in the UK, becoming one of the band's biggest hits and a timeless rock staple. And while the Kinks were bending the rules, the next band on our list was about to take those rules, burn them, and create a whole new genre in the process. Number 6, I'm 18, Alice Cooper.
I fall from the upstairs. But I'm in the middle. I went out.
It's raw, defiant, and gloriously rough around the edges. I'm 18 isn't just a song, it's a primal scream from a kid who's stuck between childhood and adulthood and pissed off about it. Released as a single in 1970, this track launched Alice Cooper from underground shock rocker to radio rebel. It's simple, direct, and packed with teenage angst. I'm 18 and I don't know what I want. It's the anti-anthem for lost, frustrated kids who feel out of place and out of time. The riff is raw and relentless. The lyrics are honest to the point of pain, and the delivery, pure snarl. It didn't just crack the top 40. It kicked the door in, becoming Cooper's first major hit and paving the way for the entire shock rock movement. And while Alice Cooper was ripping up the rulebook, the next band on our list was about to drop a track so controversial, chaotic, and flat-out filthy that it still makes radio programmers sweat decades later. Number 5. Brown Sugar, The Rolling Stones. It's filthy, controversial, and catchy as hell. Brown Sugar isn't just a Rolling Stones song. It's a Rolling Stones statement. Released in 1971, but recorded in 1970, this track is pure raunch. All sweaty riffs, slurred lyrics, and straight-up swagger. It's Mick Jagger in full strut mode, Keith Richards cranking out sleazy guitar licks, and the rhythm section pounding like a back-alley bar brawl. But the lyrics? Way too spicy for early 70s radio. It's a song about sex, race, and addiction, and it pulls no punches. It's dirty, it's dangerous, and it's still one of the most controversial songs in the band's catalog. It hit number 1 anyway. Because sometimes, dangerous is exactly what rock and roll needs. And while the Stones were dancing on the edge of censorship, the next band on our list was about to drop an anti-war anthem so blunt, so biting, and so American that it still hits like a gut punch today. Number 4. American Woman, The Guess Who.
Mama, let me be. Don't come hanging around my door.
It's loud, blunt, and unapologetically anti-American. American Woman isn't just a song, it's a statement. A fist to the face of U.S. foreign policy, wrapped in fuzz guitar and howling vocals. Released in 1970, this track hit number 1 in the US and became the Guess Who's biggest hit, despite being blatantly critical of the country it was topping the charts in. The lyrics bite.
I don't want to see your face no more. I got more important things to do.
I don't need your war machines. I don't need your ghetto scenes. It's sharp, cynical, and perfectly captures the paranoia and anger of the era. Musically, it's a monster. That grinding guitar riff is iconic. The vocals howl with attitude, and the whole thing rumbles like a tank rolling through the streets of Saigon. It's a song that shouldn't have been a hit. But it was. Because sometimes the truth makes the best rock. And while the Guess Who were kicking down doors with their anti-American anthem, the next band on our list was about to burn the stage down with a live cover so explosive it never even had a chance at mainstream radio. Number 3. Young Man Blues, The Who.
You know, in the old days, when a young man was a strong man.
It's loud, chaotic, and barely contained. Young Man Blues isn't just a cover, it's a fistfight in musical form. Originally a Mose Allison jazz blues tune, The Who turned it into a thunderous rock assault that felt like it was going to tear the stage apart. The live version, as captured on Live at Leeds in 1970, is a sonic wrecking ball. Keith Moon's drums sound like machine gun fire. John Entwistle's bass rumbles like an earthquake. And Pete Townshend? He slashes at his guitar like he's trying to cut the amps in half. Roger Daltrey's voice is all howl and fury, channeling the rage and frustration of every kid who feels like they're being ignored, oppressed, or overlooked. A young man ain't got nothing in the world these days. It's not just loud, it's violent, unhinged, and brilliant.
All the people, they step back when a young man walked by.
A track that still rips through speakers like a Molotov cocktail. And while The Who were blowing the roof off, the next band on our list was about to unleash a track that kicked the door open for hard rock, heavy metal, and Viking imagery. All in under 3 minutes. Number 2, Immigrant Song, Led Zeppelin.
Hammer of the gods, drive our ships to New
It's fast, furious, and full of Viking battle cries. Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin is one of the most instantly recognizable tracks in rock history and one of the heaviest songs to hit radio in 1970. From the opening scream to the hammering guitar riff, it's a full-on assault. Jimmy Page's guitar slams like a battering ram, John Bonham's drums pound like war drums, and Robert Plant's voice shreds through the mix like a battle cry from Valhalla. The lyrics are straight out of Norse mythology, full of frost giants, hammer-wielding gods, and epic sea voyages. We come from the land of the ice and snow, from the midnight sun where the hot springs flow. It's a blitzkrieg of sound and fury. Too intense for some radio programmers in 1970, but a monster hit anyway. It became the soundtrack for countless battle scenes, sports arenas, and action movie trailers, and cemented Zeppelin as hard rock gods. And while Zeppelin were thundering through the Norse sagas, the final band on our list was about to drop a track that captured the paranoia, violence, and chaos of the Vietnam era. With a groove so dark, it felt like the jungle was closing in. Number 1. Run Through the Jungle. Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Are so true. They told me don't go walking slow.
It's dark, paranoid, and relentless. Run Through the Jungle by Creedence Clearwater Revival isn't just a song, it's a nightmare in musical form. Released in 1970, it's a swampy, haunting track that captures the fear and chaos of the Vietnam War without ever mentioning it by name. John Fogerty's voice howls like a lost soul, and the reverb-soaked guitar line sounds like it's crawling through the mud. The lyrics? Doom-laden and apocalyptic. Better run through the jungle, don't look back to see.
Devil's on the loose. Better run through the jungle.
It's paranoia set to music, a dark reflection of a country at war. The track became a fan favorite, a live staple, and a perfect snapshot of the fear, tension, and uncertainty of the early 70s. It didn't hit number 1, but it became one of the defining tracks of the Vietnam era, a gritty, growling warning for every soldier in the jungle and every listener back home. These were the 1970 rock songs radio wants you to forget. From anti-war anthems to teenage rage, from power chords to proto-punk howls, these tracks pushed the limits of what rock could be. They crossed lines, broke rules, and smashed through barriers. So which one still makes your speakers rattle? Which track hits you like a punch in the gut? Drop your favorite in the comments. And if you want to keep the trip going, make sure to check out our other deep dives into 1969, 1971, and 1976, 3 more years that changed rock forever. Click one on screen and keep the music alive.